Hey you Mexicans, welcome back to this new video where today we're going to be looking at what a civilization started over. And we're first going to see this long-lasting blue country, the Tibetan country. Yeah, with this situation, they're not gonna last long at all. So first we see green soldiers pushing in from their part of the front line. Oh my god. So first we see green soldiers pushing in, and I'm gonna give it a better color. Actually, I think I would rather give them a lighter green. Okay, that's better. So they push in from their areas. The Russians push in from their areas. The Russians push in from their areas. The Koreans push in from their areas. As Korea is one of the stronger forces here. And then Persendia or Limendia, whatever you want to call it, they push in from here. And the old empire pushes in from their spot over here. It is at this point where this country cannot stand, and yeah, so the occupation lines now look a little something like this, and now we can take a look at a peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, we see Tibet getting partitioned heavily by all four alliances. As Russia takes a bit, Caspia takes a bit, Old Empire takes a bit, Persendia takes a bit, and Korea takes a bit. So yeah, that's one country down, and well, now we just see the war of the alliances. Now, the Korean and Irish alliances are gonna be fighting their own war. So it's just gonna be the Korean, the Korean and Irish alliance have better relations with each other, but it's just the Trapezoid and the Gear alliances that are against each other. So yeah, the Trapezoid and Gear alliances declare war with the Square and Cross alliances just not joining. And yeah. Well, with that being said, though, the Trapezoid alliance has no shot of winning. I mean, not the Trapezoid alliance, the Gear alliance. And well, yeah. So the green team pushes into the Farmers Republic. And yeah, as we soon see, that doesn't go well, and yeah, collapse. They push into Adriatica, with the green team capturing the capital. And the combined force by green team and Austrian forces will capture the rest of the country. And this combined force will also push into Rome, who will just surrender as soon as they get cut off. So yeah, Rome surrenders. We see blue team forces push into this country. Green team forces will also do much of the same. As we just see, Russia even also pushes in. At this point, this country's dead. The brute of the forces over here in Europe are gone. Oh, as for Catalonia, they're the only ones that win in the Gear Alliance. Actually, not just kidding. We see that the Orange Iberians take a little bit of land back. And the Galicians. And after they do that, we just see Catalonia like, okay, we'll give you some of our lands, just don't kill us fully. They're like, okay, and Catalonia's out of the war. As for Libya, the Carthage pushes in, and we see Libya going full Carthage here. Then we see Ethiopia join into this war just to get Somalia. That's all they really wanted to do. Getting Somalia. They also invade Tanzania. They don't really want to annex this land. They actually want to gain influence in these governments, as they want to do something that these countries want but haven't been able to do because of the governments being like not people friendly. So yeah, we will see that happen in a separate peace treaty, but for right now, the gears are losing in here. The last ones we see fighting are the old Empyreans and the in the Caspians. As we see them reconquer a lot of their old lands finally. They take back Greece. And yeah. They push into what remains of this area. And we just see this entire thing collapsing. As we see the capturing of the capital of the old empire. You see Carthage finishing off here. And the rest of the old empire falls over to Caspian hands. And the final thing we see is, wait. Okay. The final gear we see is, Mexico, who at this point just decides to wipe peace. And now we will take a look at a peace treaty. So, in this peace treaty, we see that, that Mexico just got away scot-free. Why did I move all these pixels? There we go, we're good. And, over here in Catalonia, we see that Iberia gained some of its land back along with Galicia. Catalonia is reduced to this area. We see that Carthage gains Corsica, Sardinia, and Sicily. And not that boot of Italy. That's not something they gained. Well, Adriatica has been reduced to these southern lands. They still have the capital, but they've been reduced heavily. This is what their border used to be for the most part. But after that, they got reduced here. And Rome also got reduced a lot. And the Farmers Union has been moved west over to this area. And, well, they're not going to last long. We'll just say that. Actually, no. They will unify with Adriatica, making the capital in this area. So, Adriatica is not part of the Farmers Union, so that's cool. But we have this Austria-Hungary country gaining a lot of land here, as we see them becoming an influential country over here in Europe. Russia gained some of its former territory back. Not everything, but some of it. And as we see, Caspia has rebuilt itself back as back into the Black Sea. So if we look at the episode 2 map, I believe. Give me a second. Because I believe either episode 2 or episode 3 was when they were at their peak. Yeah, it was episode 3. So episode 3, this is their peak. This is what they got. They have all this Black Sea area, this Farmers Union area that was a part of them, and yeah, we see that they had some of this land out east. But if we look at the modern map, we see that they not only gained that eastern part sort of back, but they gained even more. And they gain a lot of their former territory back. Now, not the full brute of it, because some of it did remain under Farmers Union control, but they gained so much of the core green areas back to the point where they don't really even care about that part. And yeah, since they gained all that back, and Greece is also back, but for how long? As well, the Farmers Union wanting some land after the whole thing with the grain team, and some very valuable land at that. they will go ahead and invade Greece. Greece did not last long at all as an independent country. And so that just mm-hmm. And boom. Welcome to the Farmers Union, Greece. I had to believe you here. And it's weird. The Farmers Union is like still calling themselves the Farmers Union, but they're kind of developing their own kind of identity in this area outside of here. It is here where we see a mix of democracy and it is here where we see an actual full democracy actually being in place, and not like a flawed democracy. It's actually one that actually cares about the people. Shocking reformation after they lost all of this land, but you know. They were planning to do this before they were like in their old area, but then they were shifted around, and so they just did it anyway. And so yeah. With that being said though, there's actually one more thing that'll happen, and that is the collapse of Pressendia. Now, yes, this is an extremely strong country, but it also is extremely unstable. As Pressendia here, while they've gained some pretty good territory, a lot of this area, like, Pressendia in and of itself was an unstable mess of a country already. And so, after the green team sees what's gonna happen, they decide to straight up boot Pressendia off of the alliance. And we just see this whole entire thing collapse, and we just see the Trapezoid Alliance go ahead and mediate this entire collapse, and we will see the Trapezoid Alliance meet up with all the places that want independence. So yeah, we will now take a look at this. Okay, so the Tibetans are back, and we have Mesopotamia getting bits of their old land from this era back. As I remember, Mesopotamia had this whole entire land before everything, like before the old empire, and before they kicked Pressendia out of being a colonial empire. And so yeah, this is back. We have Persia itself declaring independence. We have this declaring independence, this declaring independence, and all these regions are independent. Now we just see Pressendia get kicked back to this part, or the line team. All of these areas are fighting for control over the previous Pressendia. And this one isn't included, they just want to be independent again. And as a matter of fact, they will do something to try to protect themselves from the future invasion. They will decide to join up. They will decide to join up with the Trapezoids. They were neutral before, they regretted it, and so now they don't have to be neutral. They can actually join an alliance. Oh yeah, and best part about this, Caspia will actually be nice and decide to give back some of their lost land here. I will say though, not everything. because they still want that connection line over to Korea. Actually, no. If we will see what the border will look like. Give me a second. So in this peace treaty, well, not really a peace treaty, an agreement, they decide they will give back all the land they stole from the Tibetan country, but in exchange the Tibetan country will allow for troops to go through into the Korean country in case they decide to invade, which they're fine with because well, at least they gave back their lands, which is something that you can't even say about what Persendia or Korea did. So, yeah. So basically, we have Tibet being happy that they're under trapezoid control, especially because they were actually nice. And a little backstory on that war: the trapezoids didn't even want to participate in the war, but they didn't want to. They didn't want for Korea to get strong either, so the trapezoids decided that they had to participate in order to make sure that Korea doesn't get any stronger. So that's why the trapezoids decided to gangbang with Korea. It was all Korea's idea, but the trapezoids just wanted to protect themselves. And once Tibet got freed from Persendia, the Green Team made an agreement and was like, okay, we will give you all your land back. Since they weren't really our core land anyway, but in exchange, you're our ally. And the Tibet's okay with this because they know what they had to do. Then that technically means that yes, now they have less land, but then again, they gained a bit more land from here anyway, and plus it wasn't ever core Green Team anyway, so it's like they're fine losing it. Technically, they didn't really lose anything in the grand scheme of things, because their core territory's still here. Their people, like, their core territory is all this Black Sea stuff and this Caspian stuff. That's their core, not the Tibetan land. They were developing so much on their own to the point where it became its own thing. So yeah, the Green Team just was fine losing all that. So yeah. That being said, though, that will end this video. In the next episode, we might see Persendia. We will see a big old Persendia war to see which one will come out on top. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a new video. Peace out.